Hello Vlogmas friends, welcome to day 16 I think we're on now. I'll tell you, this Vlogmas business is tough going, especially when you're traveling, because yesterday I was in London. If you saw yesterday's vlog, I was at a YouTube party over there and we had a nice discussion about sexual consent and it was great, but trying to edit and upload that on the go when you've got bad internet and stuff was so hard. I flew back today and I had no camera battery, so in order to make sure that I don't miss a Vlogmas day, I'm so determined not to, I'm going to do a tag because I was tagged. This is so old school YouTube. I haven't done a tag in ages. I used to do them all the time. I was tagged by a Scottish YouTuber that I recently found who's lovely, called Beauty Creep. Yeah, she's so nice. I'll leave her link in the description box and I'm just going to answer a few questions that are part of the tag. It's the confidence and bullying tag, I think what it's called. Strength in numbers, something like that. And I used to be floating around the place, but yeah, I just thought I'd do something because like I don't want to not put up a video, and today I'm pretty much just going to be doing emails and eating and sleeping. I'm so craving after eights. You know those chocolate mint sweets that have the mint fondant in the middle? I want some so much, and I was in the shop and I didn't get them, but I'm very tempted to get some tomorrow when I go to see Star Wars. Yes! That is my brother over there reading a book with our cat Bilbo on his lap. Are you enjoying that there? Is that cozy?
Oh, yes.
Let me see, where can I prop you? I don't even know. Hang on a sec. Natural light, get it off me. Get it off me. Okay, we'll do this. Actually, and I'll remove the glasses because they're reflecting. Ugh. I don't even need them if I'm not like at a computer. So the first question in this tag is, have you ever felt unconfident and why? And I really think that you'd need to be an alien to have gone through your whole life and made it through to my age now and never struggled with confidence issues. I feel like it's such a normal thing to deal with. At some point or another, I have felt unconfident about almost everything that it can be possible to be unconfident about. So when I was a kid, I was really not secure in how I looked or in my personality. I thought I was weird. People used to tell me I was weird. People used to call me a boy when I was a kid because I used to wear boys' clothes and I would always like slick my hair down and tie it back, and I just kind of acted quite boyish. And we're brought up to kind of have these gender roles and gender norms and stereotypes and stuff like that, so I would get picked on over that. I didn't like my voice, I didn't like my face, I didn't like my ears, I didn't like my body, and as a teenager I struggled so much with trying to find one thing that I liked, which is so ridiculous because when I look back at pictures and I remember back to me at that age, I was nice, I was fun. I think it's very normal when you're that age to just feel really strange in your body because your body's also going through all these changes, and I was really tall up until a certain point and then I just stopped growing, and so I was quite like lanky and I was always waiting for like boobs to grow and my bum and stuff, but then my body shape never went that way. I never got an hourglass figure and I always hated that. And then my skin, I just really didn't like my skin. I would get like love handles and I would constantly be doing like crunches and stuff to try and get rid of them, even when I was like 12 or 13. Because my spots were so bad, I let that kind of come between me and a lot of experiences, so I just wouldn't go to things if I felt like I was having a bad acne day. And I used to kind of, I've shared this with you before, you would like straighten my hair and put it in like curtains over my face to kind of hide my skin. And I think I used to try and feign confidence with like, you know, boys and stuff, kissing and all that kind of thing, but then like inside I would be screaming, and later that night I would just be like, I should have done this, I did that wrong. And you know, I definitely think that's normal, and to this day I still do sometimes struggle with confidence stuff, but now I'm a lot more rational thinking, so I can override those thoughts and tell myself that's silly and there's a lot more important things to be worrying about. My friend Savannah actually brought up a brilliant point in her video. She did a video about body dysmorphia, and I realized watching that I still do some of the behaviors, even though I don't hate my body anymore. I love my body, I love myself. I've kind of worked on that really hard for years, but some of the behaviors are so learned. So sometimes I'll be in a situation and I'll feel suddenly a wave of unconfidence about my figure, and I'll start kind of analyzing my body, comparing it to other people's bodies, and wishing I could change this, that and the other, but the line is quite blurry of when that kind of thinking, which is quite common, goes into body dysmorphic disorder, which is a whole different thing, and I've been there, and that's absolutely horrible thing to go through. I'm rambling, but yeah, basically I've definitely not always been as confident as I am now. The next question is, do you lose confidence when you don't feel pretty? And I will be honest here in saying that yes, when I'm not kind of, say if I'm in a situation, if I had to go to a party and I didn't have time to get dressed and, you know, do my makeup and my hair the way I like it to look, and to kind of, you know, have a nice big shower and, you know, put on my body moisturizer and just pampering and getting myself into a place where I feel lovely. If I didn't have time to do that and I was forced into the situation of going to a party in like a tracksuit after the gym and all sweaty and gross and whatever, I definitely would feel less confident, definitely. And that's why I'm passionate about beauty. Like, beauty is definitely a state of mind, and I get to that state of mind by doing certain things to look after myself and present myself in the best way that I can. There's nothing wrong with you for wanting to feel good and look good. There's absolutely nothing. Like, some people like to shame girls who kind of care about their appearance, and I think that's so silly. Like, animals even do this, like they groom. Like, it's not a weird bizarre thing to do, and people have actually done this for such a long time. Like, back in Egyptian times, people used to wear makeup, and you know, there's different beauty trends and cultural trends around the world. It's different in each different culture. What one person finds beautiful, another person won't find beautiful. But what matters is how you feel and feeling confident. So yeah, I always try and prioritize doing what I need to do in order to feel my best. My dad's home. He was out at the shops. So the next question is, what makes you feel confident about yourself? I feel my most confident when I'm eating well, I'm looking after my skin at nighttime and before I go to bed, I'm doing my proper skincare routine. I feel confident when I'm around positive people, so people who aren't going to bring me down and like neg me. Like, negging means like when someone of the opposite or the same sex will give you a kind of a backhanded compliment, and they do it in a way to like undermine your confidence so that you'll be more like kind of falling for their advances and stuff. And it's very common. There's this book called The Game that a lot of guys read, and they do this. So I cut away people who make me feel nervous and make me question myself. Hello, Dad. Father.
What are the lights on for?
Say hello to the vlog, Father.
Oh yeah.
How are you? They love you. Is that all they're getting?
That light is on, and the kitchen light is on.
Sal's dad. He is such a typical Irish dad. It's so funny. He's always giving out to me about leaving the lights on, leaving the water on, which he's right. Don't waste electricity, people. Yeah, I feel confident when I am around people that I'm comfortable with. So like my really close friends. You know, when you're at that level of comfort where you can just let it all hang out, and you don't have to alter how you talk or how you anything about yourself. That's when I feel my best. So I prioritize my circles, making sure that the people around me are good people, and that's why the people that I gravitate toward to be friends with, in terms of YouTubers, in terms of people in my real life, family members and everything, I stick with people who I know will not be judgmental and will be just kind and make me feel nice. Compliments are always a great thing, and I'm very lucky because my channel does quite well, and like people will always say nice things about me, and I just wish everyone had that kind of support. But I'm like such a normal lump of poo half the time that it shows you that like it's just people being nice. So I do that every day. Like, I'll compliment people every single day, and I think it's so important that like we go around in our lives saying nice things to people, because if one little word, one little sentence can bring someone up on a really bad day after having a shit time, and you say something lovely to them about their personality or how they look or whatever, you'd be very surprised that like that actually sets off this chemical reaction in your brain, and it just makes you feel lovely. So do say a compliment to someone that you love today, because if you don't, like, I'll hurt you. Have I been bullied? Absolutely yes. I was bullied when I was a kid and when I was a teenager as well, and it came in many different forms. So bullying doesn't have to be necessarily like ha ha, like, you know, in The Simpsons, but that did happen to me as well. Like, people used to like kick my chair and laugh at me, and I was just always one of the weird ones in school. And I'm glad I was. Like, feck the lot of them, because usually people who bully you are very insecure themselves. So like now, if people try and bully me, I do feel bad for them. But at the time, when you're younger and you don't understand that and you don't know the psychology behind why people do it, it's really hard to deal with. And even up until like say last year, I'd still struggle with it. If someone was like starting rumors about me or saying mean things about how I looked under my videos or whatever, like I would get upset and I would cry. And now I read it and I'm like, you poor thing. Like I just ignore it. I ban people from my channel. It's a manifestation of their own misery, you know what I mean? So like if someone's bullying you, just don't, I know it's easier said than done, but like work on learning how to not let it affect you like it has been. And even like, you know, people ganging up on people or leaving someone out, you know, say if you're in a friend group in school and there's like 7 of you and there's always 7 of you, and then 6 of you have a party and just purposefully don't invite the other person to kind of see what they'll do. Or I know internet, like bullying online, has become a huge thing with young people, and I'm really kind of happy that I missed out on that. We didn't have social media when I was a teenager, so like I can only imagine how much more difficult it is now with people being mean and leaving nasty comments and stuff. But it always comes down to the same thing, that they're only doing that because first off they might be trying to distract other people from bullying them. So like if someone else is the target of everyone's attention, then they're not going to get bullied. Another thing is that some people feel like they need to bring others down for them to feel better, which is really sad. And yeah, there's just a lot of reasons. If you look into like why do people bully, like did you ever bully someone? And the answer to this honestly is yes. When I was in school, not directly, but what I would do is I'd be a passive bully. So my friend group would like kind of hate someone or choose someone that week that they just wanted to make fun of because of their hair or whatever, something silly. And I would kind of not intervene when things were happening, or I would agree with them. Like they'd be saying this, that and the other about someone, and I'd be like, yeah, haha, like, you know what I mean? I was a passive bully, and I absolutely went through years of despising myself over that, because that's something like I can't take back. But since then I have like reached out to the people who were on the other end, and I've apologized to them and we've talked it through, and I think that's important as well. My friend Riyadh did a video where he called his bully. It was amazing. Riyadh is the guy I'm moving in with in January in London. Yeah, that was like one of the worst things I've done, is being involved with a bunch of bitchy girls who were ganging up and I didn't want to be the one getting bullied at the time. I was so afraid that it would happen, and then one day it did happen. I ended up being on the other end, and they all hated me and whatever, and now we're all just so over it because we're grown women. It's so funny how in school like the littlest things seem to be like matter so much more, be the biggest deal, and they really aren't. Like once you get past that, you realize how unimportant it was and how silly it was and stuff. And people can say this to you till the cows come home, but you kind of need to experience it yourself. That's how we grow as people. So even going through the whole bullying phase where I was getting like picked on and I was analysing myself all the time and I just didn't like myself, if I didn't go through that, I don't think I would be who I am. So I do think that it was an important experience anyway. The next question is, how do I deal with bullying? I ignore it now. If someone is saying something about me or whatever, I don't try and go out of my way to like talk to them or like find out why they think that or anything like that. I just accept that that's who they are. They're doing this horrible thing, they're saying these horrible things, they don't like me, and that's fine, because not everyone has to like you, and also not everyone has to be at the same point in their life journey as you are. So I'm not going to resent someone because they're not at the same level that I'm at in my head. And it does nothing to do with age now. Like someone who's 40 years old could be a horrible bully. It doesn't, and I'm not any better than them because I understand why people bully and stuff like that. So just understand that everyone is on their own path, and everyone gets to different levels of understanding at very different times in their life, and some people never will, and that's okay too. Just don't talk to them people. Talk to nice people. The next question is, do nicer people seem more beautiful to you? Yes, like only nice people seem beautiful to me. I feel like if you're not a nice person, that's what ugliness is to me, is personality based and who you are, like, and an ugly person would be someone who's just so full of venom and hate and wants to hurt other people, and that to me that just shines through people's face. Like if you're a nice person, it's very obvious in that you'll be kind to people, you'll smile, you'll be helpful, you'll care about people if they're down. I don't think you can really find someone very beautiful or even like really love someone who's not nice, because it's based on you trying to pander to them or trying to fix them, wanting something that you can't have. Like if someone is beautiful and a good person and stuff like that, like it's going to be real. How you feel about them is going to be real. The next question is, does makeup make you feel prettier? And in terms of pretty, like I find a lot of different types of looks pretty. I think the most pretty look to me is when some people have like very clear skin and big eyes and long eyelashes and nice colour to their lips and stuff naturally, or they've very minimal makeup on. I find that like that's a natural thing to go toward. We're scientifically driven to seek out certain features and certain look in healthy skin and all that kind of thing. So for me, I don't have those things, so makeup helps me to see myself in the mirror in my best light, if you get me, and present myself in my best way. So it does make me feel prettier, but I can feel pretty without it, especially when I'm with someone who just sees me for who I am and they don't like really care about what I have on my face, what I don't have on my face. I think makeup's such a good tool to use to feel more confident and feel prettier, but I don't think anyone should ever rely on it, and I don't think that it should become like a crutch where you feel horrible and ugly and disgusting without it, because your bare canvas, your bare face, like that's who you are. Your makeup is an art, and it's just like something to add on top as like a little cherry. The last question is, what do you think of the expression beauty comes from the inside? And that's going back to, you know, nice people and people who are nice. I think that like happy people are so much more beautiful and just good human beings. It definitely makes a person more beautiful, and like it kind of just shines through. It's like say someone who looks like a Victoria's Secret model and they have that kind of look or whatever. Imagine that person, right? They're miserable, they loathe themselves, they're on the corner of a street injecting heroin into their arm, they haven't washed in weeks, they don't look after themselves, they are just constantly crying, they're horrible to everyone, they bully people, the reason that they're in this situation is because they've been so cruel to people in their lives. Like imagine all the worst things that you can. Like that person is not going to be nearly as beautiful as the same person who's just kind of like, say, volunteering at a homeless shelter and smiling and talking to people. Like there's a huge thing to be said for beauty coming from the inside. You can look as perfect as you want, like perfect what society deems perfect, and not be beautiful, in my opinion. Jeez, this is a long video. I don't even know if this is any good. This is probably a load of shite, but I had to put up a video today. So I'm gonna go and like just sleep more and catch up, get rid of this silly kind of semi-hangover, and then tomorrow we're going to Star Wars, so stick around for more Vlogmas. I love you, and we'll catch up on the advent calendar tomorrow because we're like a few days behind now. Bye guys.